Hello and welcome. This is Spandana, and today I have with me Mr. Ganesh Kohli, a teacher and counselor who has founded, nurtured, and led multiple education focused organizations over the past 23 years. Welcome aboard, sir. Let me tell you all, he supports the AHA Moment and Soul Science Foundation to bring meditation and mindfulness in everyday life. He founded the IC3 Moment, which attracts leaders from 42 countries and supports free education for school teachers to become trained career and college counselors. So, I, on behalf of Brainfeed Group, take the pleasure in welcoming you, sir.
Thank you, Spandana, for having me.
Thank you. So without further delay, we'll start our questions. And prior to that, I would like to share you one thing. So I've seen the video where you have gone all the way to meet your teacher. So and share your experiences with her. So I was like, everybody by seeing seeing that video, right? A minute we feel like yes, we have to go back to our teacher and thank them for molding us such great. So that was very impressive video. So thanks for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so let's start with a question. So, what are the latest trends you have seen in career counseling?
Well, I think there's generally, Spandana, a greater awareness about career and college counseling, which I thought did not exist for most of my lifetime as a professional. I think people ignored this function for the most part. Most people thought that career and college counseling or career counseling was only needed for those students who had to study outside their home country or who had to go abroad. But I think the most recent phenomena I'm seeing is that uh, people are realizing that counseling is needed for every child, whether he studies at a college which is next to his house or he goes to another country. Every child needs counseling, whether it's the top 5% children in school or it's the bottom 5% children. Everybody needs guidance and purpose and direction. So that's one big change. I think there's more of an acceptance. There's a lot of organizations and a lot of other activities that are happening that are counseling related in schools now. The other, besides awareness, I think I am seeing that principals have become very active in schools also. They realize that career and college counseling is now an indispensable function, that they need to invest the resources. What used to happen earlier was we looked at schools, whatever showed up on the mark sheet, people would focus on that. You have maths on the mark sheet, English, other languages, geography, history. But where on the mark sheet there is no counseling, well-being, right? A lot of things that we did in school were all driven by grades, by what marks and what results we will get. And they were also often driven by, schools were being driven by the accomplishments of a few students. I think that the trend that I see is schools are increasingly more inclusive, that they are doing things that do not directly impact the marks or the grades of a school, at least in their perception. And they are doing things that are in the interest of the student holistically. And they are taking much more care of students who are not the top 10%, 20% only. There's a lot of emphasis now that schools are laying on those students who need more help, who need direction and purpose. So those are my two observations that I shared with you.
Thank you so much, sir. And so, how difficult is it to get the right counseling?
It's almost, at least when IC3 began in 2016, I thought it was almost impossible. Even today, it is very difficult. You see, education has been commoditized. It's become such a big business. Everyone is, students are being treated like a commodity, and it is very unfortunate in many ways. So it's very hard because there are pressures that university folks are under to recruit students from all over the world, from even within India. Um, and so it's really important to safeguard the interest of the student. In the it is very, very difficult to find neutral quality advice. The moment an individual, you know, is getting counseling at a school, chances are that he is going to get some unbiased advice. And I think the key here is to give unbiased advice, not give advice that is meant to push the student in a direction which is not necessarily the right direction for him. So I think it has been very difficult, more so because, we have not invested as a community. Schools have not invested in counseling. Schools have not invested in training someone, in equipping someone to guide children, and not just to go to college, but to find purpose and meaning in the subjects that they are studying while they are in class 8, 9, 10, 11. As early as class 8 or 9, we start to box students in one area or the other. As early as class 11, they have to choose between humanities, science, commerce. So there's a lot of decision making. As early as class 8, some children are sent off to Kota to do IIT preparation. So a lot of decision making has to be done. Families are confused. And in many, many occasions, schools have not invested enough in this area. So I'm very happy to say that, yes, it has been difficult to find good counseling because schools aren't always providing counseling. But now that is changing. And I am very grateful to all the principals, all the counselors, teachers who have been awakened by this effort, that IC3 has put in. The whole movement is about counseling in every school. Our work is really about counseling in every school. And the moment we have counseling in every school, then it will be less difficult for a student to get good guidance, get advice, get purpose.
Thank you so much, sir. So, how should student? When should actually the student starts counseling?
The earlier the better. Actually, a lot of milk is spilt by the time the student goes to 12th grade. And a lot of people think, oh, we should start in class 12 and then that's when he has to apply. Career and college counseling, Spandana, is not about admissions to college. We must not look at this from the narrow prism of he has to be sent to college, right? It is about making critical decisions. It's about discovering your own self. It's about finding your true calling. And this work should begin in class 7 or 8. So the earlier you start, the better. Schools need to encourage, communication, expression of interest, help students explore their interests, their hobbies, their subject interests. Have an active career and college counseling curriculum for class 7, 8, 9 students so that they are exploring. And as they explore their way through till class 9, 10, they make better decisions on what to do, what to study, where to study, how to make it happen. So these decisions are going to be well thought out if, we begin early. So my recommendation would be start as early as possible. Definitely class 7 or 8 career and college counseling should start.
Yeah, perfect, sir. Thank you so much. And so, in what ways can we make career counseling a part of school education system?
Well, we need to appreciate Spandana, and I have, I have advocated a pedagogy called the counseling laboratory, which the IC3 Institute teaches on the basis of this pedagogy. Essentially, we've got to ensure that every teacher is a 10% career and college counselor. Every teacher needs to provide students with a context on where in the real world of jobs and careers and colleges is this subject going to be used. Doesn't matter whether I teach physics or geography or history or English language. Where am I going to use it? Why am I studying this? Today a child who studies something at 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning doesn't want to be told that I will use it after 30 years. He wants to use it today afternoon by 3:30. So Why do people hate maths? Why do people hate physics? Because they don't know why they are studying maths. Why are they studying calculus? They have to be told why they are doing what they are doing. And where in the real world of careers and colleges is this knowledge that I am acquiring in school going to be used? So the more you contextualize what they are studying, uh, where it will be used, the more excited the learners would be. I call it the Harry Potter effect of career and college counseling. So schools can have far better learning outcomes if we encourage, a robust career and college counseling laboratory, which is what I advocate. And many schools have implemented this, but I would strongly recommend that. And we need full integration. Career and college counseling, you don't get marks in the mark sheet, but it can increase your marks in every subject. Your school results in the school will improve dramatically if there is career and college counseling, because every teacher will be able to provide inspiration and purpose and direction and meaning to their student if they are trained in some form or fashion on how to bring alive their subjects. So that's what I'd leave you with.
Yes, you are right, sir. So the practical learning is far better than theoretical. So yeah,
Yes.
thank you, sir. So what other options are available for students who fail to get admissions in their dream college or degree? So these days we have been seeing so that they are not going
Yeah,
into
it's very unfortunate that students end up believing that there are only limited options. There are many good fit options. We live in a very glamorized world, Spandana. We always want to see what brand t-shirt I'm wearing, what brand shoe I'm wearing. Eventually, that may all be manufactured in the same factory. But we are, so I want you to know that there are hundreds and thousands of high quality institutions. And for any given student, there are numerous good fit options. Good fit. They are a good fit for that student. So we must always reassure students that we do not live in a world where there are only 3 or 5 or 7 dream universities. There are there it is the reason the others are not your dream universities is you have not yet realized how good they are. And not everybody succeeds in every institution. And so it's important that students redefine what is their dream institution as not one that looks good on the resume, but as one where their highest potential is realized. I think that's very, very important. And yes, the answer to your question is yes, there are plenty of great institutions, and there is a lot of hope for a student, even if he doesn't get to the 4 or 5 or 10 institutions that he thinks are the best for him. There are plenty of options.
Thank you, sir. So, how should parents be guided so that they do not impose career choices on students?
Start early with parents. Schools need to engage parents early. You know, when you engage with parents in seventh grade and eighth grade, you gradually prepare them. Suddenly, when you reach 11th grade and 12th grade and you're telling the parents something, it's too much for them to digest. We must all acknowledge that whatever parents do, Spandana, they do out of love for their children. But they are, they are also very fear based. They don't want their children to fail. And so, they make a lot of fear based choices. Whole generation of engineers are not finding jobs today because parents were scared that if you study anything other than engineering, you will not be successful. Well, you should have actually, if the parents were guided properly by schools, they would have realized that humanities, liberal arts, art and design, education, there are so many other areas of education that would have given better opportunities to their children. But because parents have not been given a perspective, we as a species, we are very repetitive. If my grandfather did something, my father did something, I tend to follow in the same footsteps. Lot of, India, we are seeing a mushrooming of engineering colleges in the last 20, 30 years. Now, first time engineering colleges are shutting down because engineers are not getting jobs. So we have this herd mentality, and parents have to be engaged from 7th and 8th grade to educate them that their children are unique. You know, we think that pursuing music education means you're doomed. Well, music is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You must not, you know, music education may be as good for a certain student as engineering education. So I think we have to be very conscious of the fact that we are conditioned to believe certain things about careers and colleges, and parents are very strongly conditioned to believe those things. It is the prerogative of a school, of the counselor, to have information sessions, to bring some expert speakers to school, to invite parents to attend those sessions, to educate parents of class 7 students, of class 8 students, of class 9 students. So when the parent and the student comes into class 10 and they have to make a decision in class 11, they are not saying science, 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 science. Now they know that the world is much larger. There are many possibilities that exist. Yes. So I think it's very, very powerful when you do that.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. That was all for today, and it was such an informative session. And Brainfeed viewers will love watching this. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir.
Pleasure, Spandana. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye bye.
So that was all from the educator himself. Hope you have got some advices from Mr. Ganesh, and please subscribe to Brainfeed TV and magazine for more interesting conversations. And don't forget to click on the bell icon for regular updates. And signing off, Spandana.